Hi, in our next video we're going to talk about the Moivre's theorem, and we're first going to explain the three rules of the theorem. So when you have a r and a theta times a different r and a theta, and there's a multiply between the two polar form values, you only multiply the r values and you add the angles. When it is division, when you have polar form divide by polar form, then you only divide the two r values and you subtract the two angles from each other. When you, in the third place, when you have a r and a theta, which means polar form to a different exponent, you only apply the exponent to the r value, but you multiply the exponent to the angle. So in this example, for example 1, if I have a polar form of 4 and angle 35 times 3 and angle 45, then let's say I must just be able to say 4 times 3, and I'm going to add the angles 35 degrees plus 45 degrees in the bracket like that, and then this will give me a value of 12 as a r value combined, and 45 plus 35 is 80 degrees as an angle, and that will be the solution to that example. If I ever do the same and I divide, when I divide, I only divide the r values and I subtract the angles. So in this case, I'll say 4 divided by 3, which will give me 1 point something, or I can leave it as 4 over 3, and I'm going to say 35 degrees minus 45 degrees. Always the bottom one, subtract from the top one. This will give me an answer, r value of 4 over 3 and an angle of minus 10 degrees. And then I need to either convert this back into polar form, a rectangular form rather, or I can leave my answer like this, or I can present this information on an Argand diagram as well. So if I go to my next example, example number 3 there, this is where I have got 4 as an r value and an angle of 30 degrees, but I've got an exponent of 3. I only apply the exponent to the r value, but I multiply the exponent to the angle. So this will give me a value of 4 to the power of 3, 64, and 3 times 60 is 180 degrees. And there I have simplified the exponent into the r and into the angle. So the only difference is in the angle. They can give you the angle in terms of a radian. So if this was, let's say, for example, 4, and you have an angle of 2 pi over 3, then you have to this will be in radians, and you'll have to convert this back into a degree. Remember, degree is the one with the little 0 there. That means you will, only thing that you need to do is multiply by 180 over pi, and the pi's cancel out, and then it will be 2 times 180 divided by 3, which will give you the angle in degrees. That means you will have a new r value of 4, and the angle 2 times 180 divided by 3 will give you an angle of 120 degrees. So in this next combined example, we're going to use the Moivre's theorem to simplify this polar form. And then I said when you multiply, you add the r value, you multiply the r values and add the angles. And when you divide the r values and you subtract the angle. And I have something to the power of 2, a square on that term there. So I will first complete that. So I've got 2 angle 35 degrees, and with this one I'm going to apply the 3 square, and I'm going to say 15 times 2, and then at the bottom I have 3, and I'll have my 24 degrees. So then I can go and rewrite this as 2 with an angle of 35 degrees, and this will give 3 square, which will give me 9, and 15 times 2 will give me 30 degrees divided by 3 and 24 degrees. So now I can do either multiply the two top r's and add the angles, or I can do it all combined. Now I can say 2 times 9 divide by 3. So multiply the two r values at the top and divide this. And at the bottom, or next to that, I'll have the top two 35 degrees. When I multiply, add the top, and when I divide, I subtract the bottom angle.